Hello, it's Jessica here from Fox's Blog Knits. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Thank you for joining me today from Northland, New Zealand. So today I'll be sharing with you 9 of my favourite mindset and practical tips for new knitters. Actually, some of these tips are really great reminders for experienced ones as well, so something for everyone. As always, I include show notes and links within the description below, so make sure that you check those out at the end of this video. If you haven't already, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoy this episode, please give it a like or check out my Knitting Know-How playlist for more content just like this. So, we'll start in chronological order, eh? So tip 1 would definitely be relax. Choose a comfy spot where you can sit for a while without feeling guilty that you should be doing something else. I always get the knit guilt. I know that it can be super hard, especially when you're time poor, I get it, but being relaxed and being in a relaxed state will allow you to really melt into what you're doing, paying full attention to the handmade beauty that you're making in your hands. And I always like to say that knitting is your yoga, so it's really important to take that time out. Tip number 2, try not to rush. Knitting is about the journey less than the end result. Take your time and enjoy the process, and whether that's just getting lost in a massive amount of stockinette stitch or being proud of learning a new skill, your beautiful finished object will mean so much more when you appreciate the journey. Swear words and everything. Tip 3, have everything you need to hand. I like to have my notions and tool in a little basket. I've got mine right here. Little basket packed with all kinds of stuff. In here it's got my little snips, highlighters, needles, measuring things, stitch markers, everything. So I like to have them to hand when I need them. It also allows you to take what you need with you if you want to move to a new knitting nook around the house. And that felted little basket box is so great for when I'm at home. I'm forever losing things in my sofa cushions, so it's been super handy. Magic tip number 4, marvel at what you've done. Step back and look at what you've done. Progress markers are so great for this. Not only is the marble tactic amazing for patting yourself on the back. Oh, Jasper's just decided to walk through. Anyway, what was I saying? Patting yourself on the back? Something like that. Anyway. Basically, the reason why is that it lets you spy any potential mistakes, such as a missed pattern stitch or, heaven forbid, a dropped stitch. If you take a good look at your completed sections and do discover a mistake, it is so much easier and less heartbreaking to rip back just a bit instead of a whole sleeve or something. I think that this is easy to forget as well when you've been knitting for a while. I personally really love to enjoy taking a close look at my piece as a whole, especially when I finished a tricky part that was a bit mind-bendy. Tip number 5, and possibly one of the most important, is to gauge swatch. And yeah, for the love of everything, all things true and yarny, do a gauge swatch. There are a few exceptions to this rule, which I think are pretty much only scarves, but everything else, take the time to do your swatch. This will ensure that what you are making will actually match the finished size that you expect in the end, and it does save tears. And yes, experienced knitters need reminding of this too. I'm really keen to often just jump ahead to the next bit and think, it'll be fine. Yeah, no. Following on from there, tip 5.5, or shall we just make it tip 6? Do you have a new technique in your pattern that you haven't done before? Practice it when you are making your gauge swatch, or set up a swatch that you use to try things out on rather than your live knitting project. I don't know how many times this has actually saved me. Let your swatch be your test puppet with the first one, as it will no doubt turn out a little weird and your tension will be all over the place. So better that it's in that swatch and not in your knitting. Tip number 7, block your finished garment. It'll always look better. Blocking helps hide any little mistakes in your tension and lets everything sit nicely. Especially as a beginner, you might be holding your yarn a little tighter. I'm guilty of doing this myself. You can also stretch things out a little, like sleeves to be the even length, so your garment always fits perfectly. And bonus blocking tip, block your swatch on how you intend to block your finished object. things can often grow or change in a different way that you weren't expecting. So when you block that swatch, even though you're really keen to get casting on and having a go, it'll just save yourself a lot of time and heartache, especially when you've invested in some beautiful yarn. Anyway, if you fancy, be sure to watch my video on my own blocking disaster. We won't talk about it. Anyway, tip 8, do get yourself some really good needles. I recommend a set of circulars, as you can pretty much do everything on them, and they don't have to be the most expensive ones. They just have to be ones that you like and feel comfortable. You don't have to just knit in the round with circulars, which is often a beginner misconception. You can also go back and forth, and plus they're really great when you're working on a large item like a cardigan or a blanket. All the heaviness is actually held in the cable and not what you're trying to maneuver with. And they just make it way easier to store and take with you, and often come in cute little zippy pouches. Or you can put them in a zippy pouch. Okay. Where were we? 8, 9? I don't know. The next one. Knit while you're watching your favourite podcast. Hi. I love to knit while watching video podcasts. It really makes you feel like you are team knitting. Is that really lame? Or at least having a knit night. And plus it's a great way to get inspiration and tips and advice. And we've all been down that YouTube knitting rabbit hole once or twice before. So, that was my 9th tip. I just looked at my notes. So there you go. There are my 9 tips. I'll be putting together my top 10 knitting hacks video very soon that will have loads of practical tips and time savers for knitters of all skill levels, plus things to keep you sane that I have learnt along the way and other people have told me to do, so really, really good. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to know when that has been loaded. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please give it a like and let me know in the comments if you've got any extra tips for new beginners or things that you wish that you've been told. I always love hearing your reading your comments. I do feel like I hear your comments. So thanks for being with me here today on this episode of Fox's Blog Knits, and I'll see you again soon. See ya!